Levi, I use he/they pronouns and I represent the Netherlands.
Hi, I am Kai. I use they/them pronouns and I come from Italy.
My name is Masha. My pronouns are they/them and I come from Estonia.
I am Andriani. I use they/she and I represent Greece.
I am Tofu. My pronouns are she/her and I am from Latvia.
I'm Luci. I use they/he and I'm from Italy.
I think for me the most useful tool that we learned was mainly collaboration. I have bad social anxiety, so it's difficult for me to work in a group setting, and this was a very safe space to sort of learn how to do that in a way that works for me and also works for others.
I think the care groups are really important because having people you can trust, you are closer to them in a way because you are able to trust them with your worries, with your active meditation techniques, and you know that they will always be there at some point during the day. You can go and find them. It's very nice, I think.
I never been before in the project that has this safe space of consent, of trigger warnings, allergies and all the stuff that we have here. And the most important part of this general approach is we are caring for each other here. So we everyone is checking on each other, how they feel, are they comfortable in doing what we do, and so on and so on.
I think those activities where we would form teams and exchange knowledge is something very valuable because we could all work together and share our special knowledges.
The most useful, actually, I think I find the me time because I don't usually allow myself to have healthy time for myself. If I don't have anything to do, I will just distract myself with TV shows and stuff. But actually, like when you're forced to do stuff on your own, do something for yourself, I've gotten back into writing my feelings and also just dancing just for me.
It's hard to choose just one. This whole retreat was really useful for me. I would say getting time for myself, specifically starting writing again. I study university, it's been 5 years, and I only write theoretical papers, and I kind of deprived myself of writing for pleasure. And having time to do it, it really helped me understand how much I needed it and how much I have still to say.
Queer retreat, I think, is, at least for me, the only way I will be able to relax. Because even if you are in a regular retreat, you will still have to explain yourself. You will still basically have to fight for the things that are needed for you to thrive in an environment. So a queer retreat is very important because I have not felt this rested in a long time. And we didn't even rest at all anywhere, but still I feel like I'm ready to tackle the world again.
Yeah, I think it's really needed, much needed. Especially when our lives are so full of things happening. Taking a bit of time just to be with yourself, with others, and also building a new community from scratch. Networking with so many people from so many different countries. It's a gem of a project.
I think it was really nice to have this experience that we didn't have in our younger years of a community where we are all accepted, because in children's camps it can be harder to be accepted by other kids. Everyone respecting each other, there is no bullying on a smaller scale, there is no misunderstanding and stuff. And all the issues, if they came up, they've been resolved with care.
I believe that in our everyday life we all need this break to visit a safer space. I believe that all of us need to take a break sometimes and have a reminder of what a chosen family looks like and how it is to be all together, be free to express without having to explain ourselves so much.
I think it's very important to take care of your well-being, and especially for people who are fighting for queer rights. The job is very you're putting your heart and soul into the job. It's very stressful, it can be exhausting and it can lead to burnout, but these type of retreats provide a safe space where you can breathe and relax and feel safe and connect to other people who are similar to you, and also take home some tools which you can use in everyday life.
Specifically because as queer people we can't just be. Most of us have to be an activist, even if we don't want to, maybe, because no one else is going to fight for us. So just having the time to actually think about ourselves in a safe space and not having to worry about what you have to wear, what other people will think of you, have a nice space and nice conversations to get to know other queer people. And I don't know, it gives a lot of hope. So I think that's why we need projects like this.
I am less scared to advocate for my needs. It's hard for me to live and thrive in the world we have right now. But over here I was able to say, I need this, I need that to change. I am not able to participate in that. Is it okay if I just sit it out for a bit? And I did not feel guilty or bad about that, which is awesome.
One of the most important things is trust in myself, because I know that we were able to collaborate and create a community all together. And so I know I can do things, I can share things, I can start things. And if you find the right people, you will be able to enjoy them and create something bigger than yourself.
So in me personally, that I can deal more with social situation actually, because I'm struggling with social anxiety of really high levels. So this experience for me was also to try out how to push my boundaries a little bit, and I succeeded. So I'm very proud of myself.
I think I can value myself more. I think that after all this process, it's easier for me to express needs without thinking that this might be too much for people, because we all have the right to express our needs.
It has given me inspiration to do things for myself, but also other people were scared of the movement classes, but since I'm a dancer, I love those. But I got through it, and after that in the visual poetry class with Andriani, I actually expressed myself through visual art, and I love that, and I think I will continue to do that, at least for myself.
The biggest change I noticed is how I can just relax. Like, I am allowed to take a step back sometimes. But also another very important thing I would say is the ecological aspect. It pushed me to strive for something better. I was vegetarian, I think I'm gonna go vegan. So, you know, a lot of cool things come out of this project, even if it was not the main thing that attracted me to this.
I think my magical moment would be somewhere in the first week where we just went up the hill here and we saw like the sunset. It was beautiful. We missed half of dinner, but it was definitely worth it.
The most magical moment was honestly one of the first few days. We went on top of the hills at night. We went stargazing with a newly formed group, so we didn't know each other so much, but it was so beautiful to see the starry sky up on top of us. And we started doing fun activities, just even counting in different languages. It was super magical.
After the quick dinner, I went up into the hills of Hopeland, and I found a spot there, and the dog came with me. I think he was protecting me, like he was like, "You're alone here, okay, I will take care of you." But he was also asking a lot to be pet, and I was petting him, so we really cared for each other and we enjoyed this moment together. He was also observing the mountains. Yeah, we spent an hour there and it was super magical.
What comes to my mind is after a full day of working with the land, I ended up to the almond field, and people there told me, "Would you like to grab a bucket and harvest some almonds?" So it was a perfect time because, you know, stripes of the sun would go through the branches and I would pick up almonds. Pretty poetic. It was magical for me. I enjoyed the view, watched the mountains behind the almond trees. It was great.
In the last few nights, it's so simple, but it was actually magical when me and my tent mates, we were sleeping in one teepee. Before sleep, we just talked about our queer journeys and different deep topics, and I love those conversations.
I have one where I was by myself and I noticed that I was just walking around and listening to my footsteps, and I was like, wow, I'm actually here in the moment and I'm not thinking of, you know, all of the books I have to study or the groceries I have to do, moving houses, all these thoughts that I've had in my head for months. I was just able to relax and I was able to just walk around without a name, and I noticed that I was listening to my footsteps and I was like, wow, this is a nice sound. So it's really something simple, but for me it is not.